Okay, it's 6 a.m. and I'm doing a Shoe0nHead reaction again. I'm doing it off stream this time. So I can give it some attention. And if you hear some Australian birds in the background screaming for dear life, I'm sorry, that's just how they were born. Let's get into it.
Women. Despite popular belief on Reddit, I love women. And despite popular belief on 4chan, I am a woman. And as I am filming this, it is
4chan accepting women exists.
currently International Women's Day. So happy International Women's Day to all 7.3 of you. We've talked quite a bit about male loneliness on this channel, but we haven't really touched on female loneliness, which although technically not as severe yet, is unfortunately a real and rapidly growing trend.
Is on the rise.
The modern world does not seem to have a solution to this. All modern dating advice is just garbage. The future seems bleak, so maybe
all gut dating is garbage.
In this video, we're going to talk a bit about modern female loneliness, and then we're going to have some fun looking at some dating advice from the 1950s to see if we can find a solution there. Because what worked for our grandmothers surely will work for us, right? Back in the day when people would still go to malt shops and diners instead of femboy hooters, women dated men for more than just their wallets. Which reminds me, before we get into this video,
They were interested in more than just their wallets. I don't know about that one. Because you couldn't get married unless you had a certain amount of money in like the 1940s or 50s. Just an interesting fact, their dads would tell you to take a hike.
Quickly get into today's sponsor, Ridge Wallet. Ridge wallets are high-quality, minimalist wallets that can hold up to 12 cards and all that cash you don't have. They're also made with constant 6 keys. You can return them and get a full to save up to 30% during this stress is expected to increase.
We're back. We're back.
1.2% every year from 2008 to 2030, compared to a 0.8% increase in the overall population. This will result in 45% of women between.
I am curious, anyone in the stats, is the loneliness actual like clinical loneliness, or are we going off loneliness based on only how single we are?
Ages of 25 and 44 who will be single and childless by 2030. Now, according to some people, this is apparently a good thing. More women being single and childless is a good thing. Society is progressing. Women no longer have to be chained up and turned into breeding cows.
Breeding cows.
1984. Apparently, single women spend more than the average family on travel, shopping,
why the hell not sometimes?
Makeup, skincare, etc. So of course some economists will twist this into a positive thing. But I'm not an economist. I'm your average, humble, working class American YouTuber, slaving over a hot laptop, producing
the working class YouTuber.
absolutely nothing of value to society. And I don't think this is a good thing. I think this is proof things are going very wrong. And if you look at the stats about how so many women are on antidepressants and how the female suicide rate has been increasing, there may be a connection here. Friendship, family, and sexual intimacy are a big part of the hierarchy of needs. And I don't think women are happier being alone and single. I just think women might be better at coping with being alone and single. At least for a little while.
I do agree. I do agree with to an extent, because a lot of women's work even before working, like homemaking is very isolating. So I think women are a bit more set up to cope in isolation, just from many years of being stuck outside of social situations, because like women socializing was like frowned upon, like in a lot of like older like societies.
Like the craziest, saddest thought. I'm in the stage of life where I'm watching all my friends get married and have babies.
When you talk about the subject, a lot of men will point out that these women could easily get any man to sleep with. And I'm sure they know that. But sex isn't the only thing people are looking for.
I completely agree with this. It may be easier for women to sleep with a man, but it doesn't change the fact that a lot of men don't want relationships. So that's, again, it doesn't really solve loneliness, being able to get laid. It doesn't really do much.
As I said in the male loneliness video, it would be relatively easy for a lot of these incels to just get laid, hire a hooker, and it would take the average woman like 5 minutes to find a man to sleep with. Just walk the f outside. But casual sex isn't the solution to loneliness. It's a band-aid. It's a way to fill your void with cum. trying to find some
took me off thing, but I do agree with this. But I think it's not even just a band-aid. I think casual dating or hookups is actually making people more lonely, but I think that's like a completely other topic.
Someone to love, to marry, to have a family with nowadays. It is incredibly difficult for both genders in this climate today.
Yep.
And it seems
Agreed.
like nowadays the only acceptable way to do so is to swipe right. We live in an increasingly atomized, lonely society thanks to a nasty combination of social media, technology, hookup culture, lack of community, lack of friends, lack of purpose, lack of money, late-stage capitalism, neoliberalism, and so many other things. And men are being told to, well, nothing. You're on your own. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's your fault. You built the world after all, and are increased.
To be fair, I do find there's a counter argument to this, that what women are particularly being told about dating is just like, but isn't this what you wanted? Why are you crying? Which is the same thing of pull yourself by your bootstraps and stop fucking complaining, like, which isn't conducive to actually solving anyone's problem. I feel on both sides here, we're just both sides like, suck it up, if you were really that great, you would find someone, which isn't helpful.
Increasingly turning to the few people who at least pretend to give a shit, who just wind up selling them poison that ultimately hurts them in the end. Like hollow materialism, eternal one-night stands, and vasectomies.
Pausing to read the crisp past to becoming a high-value man. Don't get married. Avoid family creation. Vasectomy in your 20s. Okay, I just find a lot of these stupid, and I do agree that a lot of people just like consume any media they think have the answer because they want to answer. It's the same reason kids go to their favorite TikToker and Twitch streamer for advice instead of their dad, because their dad or their mother isn't present because they're out working, because everything is so fucking expensive and they're never at home. They don't have the presence of their parents. Even if they're good parents, there are a lot of shitty parents out there, and it's just like the same thing. We don't have answers, so we go look for someone, and if you aren't taught, and I guess I've been told by other Americans, it's more so in America, if you don't have the critical thinking to pick apart these arguments, that you're just gonna suck up to whatever makes the most sense to you at that time.
Yeah, in case you were wondering, that's what the red pill has been up to. Telling their audience to just forget marriage and neuter themselves. Right. While women, in turn, are also being sold very similar poison. About how it's good to be single, it's empowering. You don't need no man. Get on the pill, sleep around, climb the corporate ladder, and don't worry, baby, we'll freeze your eggs for you. But is this...
I do think, like, okay, I'm pausing a lot right here, but I do think being educated of your choices is important here for both men and women, but being realistic of when your goals are going to hit. I was reacting to some other video about this population thing too, and I do think, like, the information isn't bad to have, but it should be portrayed not as an opinion, but as information, so you can critically think and decide what you want. Because being single isn't terrible if you want to be single. Having no children isn't bad if you don't want to have children. But, like, being aware of what you want and in what reasonable time. Because there is time limits to a lot of our decisions in life.
Good
Agreed.
Advice for women? Or have we girl-bossed a little too close to the sun? A study on date psychology recently revealed that 48% of men 26 to 40 years old
even if they
have not
approached
women in the past
no matter
year.
What.
And 60% of men aged 18 to 25 said they haven't. In the entire data set, 30% of men said they never approached a woman in person before. Ever. This also might be because, like I said, everything that isn't swiping right on a dating app nowadays is considered creepy. Don't approach women at the bar. Don't approach women at the gym. Don't approach women at coffee shops. Don't approach women at work.
I would say this is partly because nowadays men aren't really taught when to approach women. They're just told when not to approach women, because online dating has made everything so easy and accessible. Like, it used to be a big thing to learn from your guy friends the perfect way to actually smooze a woman. It's not particularly just because that's creepy. Well, don't be creepy, obviously. It's also that there is actually no information given to both sides on actually how to talk to each other in a real life situation if it isn't set up as a pre-date, which is crazy.
Don't approach women at the mall. Don't approach women. We live in HR world, and it turns out a lot of women don't like HR world. Every time I see videos of women,
I do believe, like, something is overthought of this, but there is the right places to approach women, and then there's the wrong places. Just like there's the right way. Like, I wouldn't go up to them and go, "Oh my god, you smell so good, awake." like obviously. So it's just like, but like, I think the thing is, our social situations out there is not tons of good social situations anymore to approach people.
Crying about not being approached by men or being lonely. The comments and replies are always full of men like, "Enjoy your cats. This is what you asked for. This is the world you wanted, ladies." But was it? Not every woman is the blue.
Yeah, see, that's not exactly what they asked for, exactly. And I do agree with her here, and it's like biting your nose off to spite your face, both sides on this, and I feel like that she's kind of pointing that off, that like we're both just going, "Told you so,"
paired
and
man-hating feminist stereotype
being assholes to each other
that you have in your mind. A lot of them want the same exact world you do. What you have to understand is society in the media is basically like her fat, ugly, drunk friend at the bar cock-blocking you from talking to her. Excuse me? She's not interested. Even though chances are she might be. According to the same study on date psychology, 77% of women
remember, the internet isn't the real world here.
Want to be approached more. So if men are lonely and women are lonely, but men are too afraid to approach women nowadays, there's only one thing we can do, ladies. We must approach them.
I do agree.
So I did a little research and looked up how to approach men as a woman. Number 1. Don't. Almost every single article, blog post, tweet thread, giving advice to women on how to get a man said some shit like, "Don't chase him, let him chase you. Be unavailable and mysterious.
I do think that's mean like long term.
Simply pretend
like, don't be
he doesn't
too
exist."
crazy ego.
Great. Awesome. Almost.
I feel like some of these dating is taken too seriously because like some of them are fucking terrible. Just don't be too eager, like, because you can come off creepy if you're way too eager. But I do think approaching people to socialize is the first step, and we both should get comfy. But to socialize, not to bang, to socialize.
Every single bit of dating advice I found amounted to let them come to us. But what if they're not coming to
dating
us?
Advice
what do we do
trash,
now?
Unless
well,
it's from someone who
according to the great
dated.
philosophers of our time, Fresh and Fit and Andrew Tate, the problem is the modern woman. Lazy,
like
entitled,
that totally
mid. These are the ingredients that create the modern woman. So clearly we have to go back. Back when a cheeseburger was 5 cents. And women were lobotomized. That's right, we must return to the 1950s.
One of the most common ways to find a partner these days is by using dating apps and websites. But back in the 1950s, you had to get a little bit more creative. Here's an article from 1958 in McCall's magazine listed 129 ways for women to get a husband.
This list has gone viral so many times on the internet, and I have been sitting on this video idea for years. And what better time to talk about this now that all you bitches single as fuck. But don't worry, we are going to see if the red pill and schizophrenic Roman statue trad larper accounts on Twitter are correct. Did women in the 1950s have better dating advice than women today? Because apparently what we're doing today, crying on TikTok, is just not working for us.
But let's see it. Let's see it.
Dive into this. Let's go. Number 1, get a dog and walk it. Honestly, this is pretty good advice. This is fine advice.
This is good for socializing in general. It's a good talking point.
If you have a dog, you'll probably go to a dog park and meet other dog people. I could see this working. Just please, for the love of God, do not become a doggo mom. The amount of times I'm walking through the city and I see a stroller and a fucking dog is in it. Just do not treat your dog like a surrogate child, please.
But I do find it
I want to go on vacations and enjoy life. That's why I don't want kids. I have dogs anyway. Won't somebody please watch Mr. Poopsie while I'm gone? He has separation anxiety. Have your car break down at strategic places.
Their choice. If they don't want kids,
my brake suddenly stopped working in front of the Bass Pro Shop. Oh no, not right next to the tall rich man convention. Attend a night school and take courses men like. If you want to sign up for ancient Roman history class, be my guest. I personally would not go back to school for a man. No man is worth that. I still have nightmares about being in school. Why am I having dreams about math homework?
I agree with this, but as someone who was in a male-dominated university, it's not helpful. You just get a lot of guys calling you not dumb as fuck. But I wouldn't say it's conducive to meeting a man. It's for sure. It's just having too many male friends that come to you to complain. That's what it's conducive to.
33 years old. Look in the census reports for places with the most single men. Nevada has 125 females for every 100
so you end up with
Ladies,
more
if you want
than
to
you
meet a
need.
man, simply hang out in the Shoe0nHead fan base. The ratio of men and women here is insane. We got all types of men here. We got the furries,
No
we got
comment.
the weebs, the libertarians, the conservatives, the liberals.
Weebs,
The
that's me.
Marxists,
That's me.
The
I'm the weeb.
anarchists, the agitators, the looters, and people who, in many instances, have absolutely no clue what they are doing.
Read the obituaries to find eligible widowers. What the f***?
That's fucked. That's fucked.
Showing up to a funeral like, hey, sorry about your wife. What
you
that
were
dick
single.
do, though.
Yeah,
So I'm actually
I
getting
heard you were
these from
single
an
and ready to
article
mingle.
written in 2018 about the advice from the 1950s. And the journalist Bella DiPaolo is constantly writing her own commentary after like almost every single one of these things. Like, look, ready? This one is like, get a job in a medical, dental, or law school. And she writes, become a doctor, dentist, or lawyer. You are a badass, so you don't need to marry one. And the next advice from the 50s.
Such an interesting one. This is about finding a man, finding a career. A lot of us already have that, okay?
Is become a nurse or airline stewardess. They have very high marriage rates. And she's like, no, become a person who thinks for herself. They have very high rates of living the life that works for them. So become a doctor, dentist, or lawyer is good advice.
Airline jobs are cool. I don't know why people are like so down on nurses and airlines. My brother-in-law's a nurse. He's fucking awesome. Like, their jobs are crazy.
Because strong, independent woman jobs or something. But become a nurse or airline stewardess is bad advice because why exactly?
Yeah,
like,
I
I'm
don't
sorry, is that
understand
not
why it's
a
bad.
little sexist? Why is she looking down on being a nurse
Because they're
or an
seen as hot jobs, even though, okay, maybe a steward is a bit hot, but that's a hard job too. You have to be like awake for 20 hours. Yeah, I hate this like contradiction that any job seen as feminine is bad. I hate it in extremists too, on either side.
airline worker? The advice some women give to other women is like incredible. It's always just like constant affirmation, constant coddling, constant like, you're doing nothing wrong, sweetie. And then male advice is like, your whole family's gonna die if you don't go to the gym right now. Be nice to everybody.
I think that's different sides, because most guys in real life, I know they do coddle each other just as much, but I don't take advice from anyone that is chronically single. Never go to the well when it's empty. You want to ask people that I'm like married or have a good relationship or something, because if they were so good at being single and getting dates, they wouldn't be single. They would have a wife or a husband, okay?
They may have an eligible brother or son. You shouldn't only
Sounds
be
funny.
being nice to
You
people
should
in
just be
order
nice.
to possibly get laid. Just be nice to everyone in general. Being nice is like the bare minimum. And what's sad is some people
Agreed. Not being a cunt is free.
can't even do that. The bar is in hell. And yet, get a government job overseas.
This works.
Okay, I'm sorry. No man is worth becoming a fed. Do not become a federal agent for some dick.
Getting a government job is cussy as fuck, as we know by them getting nothing done. But they do have a really high marriage rate.
Be friendly to ugly men. Again, just be nice
I love me
to
some
everyone.
ugly men. Yeah, but
in
be nice. Agreed.
general. Lowering your standards if they're very high or unrealistic is a good thing, but don't
I
lower
do
them
agree.
too much. If you're not
Realistic
attracted to someone,
expectations.
you should
Realistic.
not be dating them. And don't get with the first person who's nice to you or shows you attention just because you're lonely. The amount of
Yes.
men and women who like jump into relationships just because they're sad and lonely is way too high. It's almost always a recipe for disaster. Don't date someone who
Yes.
you think is ugly.
I
but
completely
like,
agree with this.
if he's not over 6 feet or doesn't have the perfect body,
Caring
like,
about height
yeah,
and bodies
give him
is
a
stupid.
chance. You're not
Head
perfect
outta
either,
ass.
girl. But if you think he's straight up ugly, different story. So yes, be nice to everyone, including ugly people, but don't date someone you think is ugly. Tell your friends that you
Yes, that is a recipe of being upset. 100%, because you're gonna upset someone, especially your significant other. But I do say shallow gets what shallow has, so if you're a shallow person, you're going to get shallow people. So give out that same energy, homie. And my ladies.
you are interested in getting married. Don't keep it a secret. Oh, we have another author's note. Tell your friends you have no interest whatsoever in getting married. Don't keep it a secret.
What are these articles? Why would you pick this article if you don't actually want to give any feedback on dating from this lady? You don't want to get married. Tell them. But that's the opposite. It's like, tell them. But some people want to get married. Who cares? Let them be married. Oh my god.
Tell your mother, tell all your other relatives, tell all the random people you meet on the street, declare it on social media. Bro, this is why we are here now, by the way. People like this in 2018 telling young women to not even try and just be a strong, independent girl boss. These are the fat, ugly, drunk friend at the bar cock blocking you.
There is a huge difference being you can be happy alone. You can girl boss. You can have your own life. But there is nothing wrong at the same time of wanting to be married, have kids, and be happy. And have your private life also be a success and like something fulfilling. Like you don't need one or the other. You can have both. Just, it's like, yeah. Sorry, she's right. The person commentating on this is ridiculous. I don't know why they're so angry about it.
Get lost at football games. Alright, if I'm at a football game, I'm already lost. Don't take a job in a company run largely by women.
I only know esports.
You would never hear this in modern dating advice. This is like blasphemous. I like the author's note to run a company. Get a job demonstrating fishing tackle.
Oh my god, I did talk about this because I studied game design and stuff, and I was talking about how it is a bit hard to get a job as a woman in game design, and some dude was just like, just make a company that's all women. It's like, you know, I don't particularly want it to be all women, right? The whole point is I want a mix, baby. We want a mixed bag in here. But it's just such a funny thing. It's like, just run a company, bro. It's so easy.
In a sporting goods store. See? Bass Pro Shops. I'm telling you. The last respectable institution in America. On a plane, train, or bus, don't sit next to a woman. Sit next to a man. Author's note, spread out all your stuff on the seat next to you and maybe you will get to have the whole row to yourself.
Why is the answer always be the bigger cunt? Like, I heard people were mean sometimes, so I've decided to be the bigger cunt forever. What the fuck?
Contrast between the like wholesome goofy shit from the 1950s and this like bitter modern asocial shit is so funny. Go to all reunions of your high school or college class. There may be widowers there. What is up with this like predatory ass advice? Why widowers? Be a rebound for a man whose wife fucking died. Also, I just realized I missed my 10-year high school reunion. Oh well. I don't think anyone would recognize me anyway. Reunions. I'd have to like wear an Invader Zim shirt and like trip pants. Don't be afraid to associate with more attractive girls. They may have some leftovers.
What are you doing here? What do you mean? I'm here for the scraps.
Don't
Here for the scraps.
room with a girl who is a sad sack and let her pull you down to her level. I mean, this is pretty good, like, standard advice. Don't surround yourself
with negative
miserable people. Yeah. Like this journalist. True. Who will just try to drag you down to her level and attempt to sabotage your dating aspirations. Learn to paint. Set up easel outside engineering school. The author's note. If you like to paint, set up your easel where nobody will bother you. Spread your stuff out so nobody will sit next to you. Set your
Yeah, it's very antisocial in general, not even just anti-dating or marriage, it's just very antisocial.
Easel up where nobody will bother you. They want you to die alone. Stumble when you walk into a room that he's in. Carry a hat box.
I've got that one down packed, the stumbling. I'm like a drunk anywhere I go.
What? Do we put a hat in the box?
What's a hat box?
What do we put in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the fucking box?
Wear a band-aid. People always ask what happened. No they won't. This was absolutely written in the 1950s, where people used to talk to each other. Make a lot of money. Damn.
Very true.
Why didn't I think of that? What great advice. Don't be poor. Dropping.
It's true, not being poor helps a lot. Oh my fucking god. But I find the asking question things, from what I notice about most guys, because they're used to the online aspect of women just pouring out every single thought, like it's like a wiki page, that they are not really used to asking questions anymore. It's interesting.
the handkerchief still works. God, everything seemed so wholesome and simple back then. Drop a handkerchief. That's all it took. Hell, like even my mom, what she did to get my dad's attention, she just like rode her bike back and forth in front of his house. Like, that's so adorable and wholesome. Want to know how me and my husband met? He trolled me on Twitter. He was a hater on twitter.com. How do I explain that to my future children?
That is the sad thing, like some of the ways we all meet is absolutely ridiculous. But to be fair, those wholesome ways were just to get them talking to you. That wasn't particularly to get what everyone is after half the time, I swear, some booty. So, wholesome wants wholesome results.
Stand in a corner and cry softly. Chances are good that he'll come over to find out what's wrong. No, chances are people will whip out their cell phone and start filming you, and then you go viral. Crazy Karen cries in corner. Buy a convertible. Men like to ride in them. Learn how to bake tasty apple pies. Bring one into the office and let the eligible bachelors
This is how I
taste
catch
it.
most men.
Honestly, this is pretty cute advice. I could see this maybe working. But like, people are so weird about people like dating at work nowadays.
It is a
that used to
recipe
be
for
like
disaster,
the
for
number
real.
one place people would meet their spouse. And now it's like saying Susan looks nice today is sexual harassment. I like the author's note here. Learn how to bake tasty apple pies. Eat them. Don't do anything for a man ever. Do everything for yourself.
I feel like this isn't even just towards like men. I feel like the internet in general pushes being more selfish in general. Just always be selfish. Look out for number one. What is this, a freaking edgy isekai manga? I don't know.
Wow,
It's
thanks,
ridiculous.
Journo. You helped so much. Female loneliness cured. Laugh at his jokes. Laugh at his jokes. If they are funny. Attractive people make the terrible mistake of assuming that they are funny because simps and simpettes
need to be
will
told.
laugh
They
at
need to
any
be
joke
told
they
when they're
say,
not
no
funny.
matter if it's funny or not. You are not funny. People just want to f you. Know the difference.
Agree. Only laugh when it's actually funny, because you like, what's worse than any of these outcomes, a gold digger, like an asshole, is that being stuck with an unfunny partner. You'll never laugh again, genuinely. It's not worth it.
Accidentally have your purse fly open, scattering its contents all over the street. Oh no, I dropped my monster tampon that I use for my magnum pussy. Wear high heels most of the time. They're sexier. Journo note. This has become my favorite thing. Wear shoes with no heels. They are way more comfortable.
Or just wear
don't
what
wear
you
shoes
want.
at all. Okay, terrible advice. Wear shoes. You don't want to attract the foot guys. Trust me. I know some of them are in this comment section right now as we speak. Horrifying. But yes, heels are attractive.
just
Heels
wear
are
what you
pretty.
want.
They make your
Yeah.
ass look good. They make your legs look good.
It's not rocket science, exactly. The heels look good. You should be able to not wear heels too if you need to. But honestly, like, life needs way too much walking to wear heels all the time. Like, let's be for real.
I don't see how this is bad advice. Unless he happens to be shorter than you are. Oof. The manlet's catching strays even back in 1958. Tell him he's handsome. Journo note! Journo note! Let's go! Talk to someone who is less needy and insecure. This bitch doesn't even want you complimenting men that you are interested in. Also, ladies, pro tip, if you want him to just melt in your hands, don't say he's handsome. You can do that. But next time you're like walking with him or something, just be like, I feel very protected when I'm with you. He will be locked the fuck in. I don't see the fault in like...
I just want to point a point here. I feel like the most thing, because I give these compliments to my male friends too, because I find guys do like these compliments and they are true, like, is when they're helpful. Like, when they're like, oh, like, helpful or strong or something. It's like, dude, you're so strong. You're so helpful right now. Thank you so much. It's like, it's great having such a strong man around. Even if it's sarcastic, they really enjoy the compliment, because, like, I think even sarcastically or as a joke, you know, a joke that is based on truth, it's good to hear that you did a good job and that you're manly, okay? And I see nothing wrong with that.
Complimenting a man or a woman that you are attracted to, that you are trying to date.
Why wouldn't you
does that make
compliment
them
someone?
insecure or needy? Take
Like,
good
Jesus,
care of your
imagine being,
health.
like,
Men don't
being
like
told
girls
you're
who
pretty.
are ill. Get a sunburn. Go on a diet if
well,
you
I'm
need
fucked.
to.
Chronic. I'm fucked. Little did I know that fly that gave me a blood disease when I was 14 ruined my life. I'm too sickly.
You would never, ever see this advice today. What's crazy is, like, in the early 2000s, very, very skinny was the look. Like, I remember being a kid and seeing things about how, like, fat Britney Spears is when she looked like this. And now we've gone completely 180, where it's like,
she was
health
always
and
hot and
fitness
people were
be
crazy.
damned, Lizzo was a queen. Like, can we just be normal?
Okay, I would say there's the extreme of it, but then we have the extreme fitness side where you have to be like fucking a bodybuilder on some people. It's crazy. And we're like on the extremes in every like facet.
Normal about this? Why is there no middle ground between, like, having an eating disorder and having an eating disorder?
I do
When you
agree
are
with
with
this. They are both eating disorders. That's kind of the thing. Like, it's disordered eating.
Order your steak rare. Absolutely not. I eat my steaks well done. Not even well done. I eat that shit congratulations. Don't tell them about your allergies. Don't be too fussy.
Don't tell them about your allergies. Die. Eat a peanut and die. Who whine stay on the vine.
Girls who whine stay on the vine. Double date with a gay, happily married couple. Let him see what it's like. This has such a different meaning today. Double date with a gay couple. Let him see what it's like. Be flexible. If he decides to skip the dance and go rowing on the lake, go. Even if you're wearing your best evening gown. Journo note. Tell him that's fine, but he has to wear the evening gown and the heels. Hello?
What the fuck is this?
Force feminize your date.
Well, if you're into it, that's up to you. I just find it's so antagonistic for no reason. It's like they're fighting inner demons.
129 ways to get a boy wife. Turn wolves into husband material by assuming they have honor. Okay, I'm so fucking brain
What the
broken.
fuck does that mean?
Degenerate that, like, when I read this, I immediately thought of, like, Legoshi the wolf from Beastars. Like,
someone
he'd make
likes
a
that
good
monster
husband.
novels.
Oh wait, how old is he? Hold on. Oh god, wait, he's 17. Wait. Resist the urge to make him over. Before marriage, that is. So basically, trap him and then mold him into your perfect mate. Okay. I swear this advice is getting more insane the further we go. The lobotomy is kicking in.
They know
Remain
everyone
innocent,
stopped reading.
but not ignorant. If he's rich, tell him you like his money. The honesty will intrigue him. Will it? Honestly,
I can't. The honesty.
maybe. If he doesn't mind marrying a gold digger, I guess. But if it's just like a dude looking for love, and you're just like, I like your money, it's over. You fucked it up. Never let him believe your career is more important to you than marriage. Clip and mail him a funny cartoon that means something to the both of you. Literally the 1950s version of sending a meme.
Yeah.
Stop being a mom's
That is
girl.
an opener.
Don't let him think he'll have in-law trouble, even if you know he will. Journo note. Guess who never has in-law trouble? People who stay single.
Oh my god, amazing. To be fair, let's be all honest. Luckily, I don't have parents, but we all pretend our parents are less crazy than they actually are.
Articles has this woman written. Let's look this up. The real sex lives of middle-aged single women. A world without marriage. The unsung joy of living alone. The thrill of going to holiday parties alone. Why being in a long-term relationship may make women more depressed. There are more single people than ever. That's not a bad thing. The profound rewards of staying single. I'm done. This is just sad. This is sadder than Anita Sarkeesian having a wedding-themed birthday party and marrying herself. You're gonna look at this and tell me there's no female loneliness epidemic?
That is a bit weird.
Really? Point out to him that the death rate of single men is twice that of married men. Marry me or you'll die an early death. If you're—
I do find the shock tag. I'm sorry. Continue.
Your mother is fat, tell him you take after your father. If he's fat too, tell him you're adopted. It was a different time. Stow away on a battleship. Rent a billboard and post your picture and telephone number on it. Oh my god. Do not do this. Sink at a fashionable beach at high noon. Make and sell toupees. Bald men are easy catches. Don't marry him if he has too many loose buttons. The end. So ladies, what have we learned? Follow around your hot friends for scraps, get a sunburn, and carry around a hat box.
I think that's the thing people don't talk about. Even in the 1950s, there were some odd standards. Like, an unkempt man was seen as a bum. Like, there was a lot of crazy standards back then too. It's just a lot of it was actually from dads, because like dads were the final say on marriage back in like then days. But like, it is interesting how it has changed, but there were still standards back then, and some crazy, like the buttons.
Wow, this will surely solve female loneliness. No, but for real, some of this advice was actually much better than like any modern dating advice I've seen. Like, at least some of this advice was go the f outside and talk to men, as opposed to don't talk to him, like let him chase you, don't even look him in the eyes. Also, men, I'm curious, which one of these would actually work on you? Would you go—
But did any of them, I don't know, did any of them actually have the girl approaching them? Wasn't they like just mostly ways to get the guy to approach them or tricking them to approach them? Kind of thing. So it's not like they were like saying to go out and talk to them. It was mainly just trying to make an easy conversation starter, which I suppose is an easier way to make a man that wants to approach you. So it's not bad, but it's not quite the same thing.
Go over to a woman that was crying and ask what's wrong? Does the hat box do it for you? I'm curious. By the way, the link to the whole list will be in the description. I would love to see your own takes on this list, like your reactions, your own video responses to this list. I've been seeing a lot of VTubers responding to my videos lately. So if one of you anime freaks are reacting to this right now, I see you. So that was that video. I hope you enjoyed it. If not, I've stolen like, what, 20-something minutes from your life that you will never get back. But if you did like it, please consider donating to my Patreon. Link down below.
We've been spotted.
I'm
sorry,
movie nights
the mic,
together,
but I'm not
and I would
that.
love
I'm lazy.
to see you there. And I will see you next time with a new video.
Bye! Well, that's the end! Yeah, see, that's the thing, like, as I pointed out the other video, I guess it is easier to point out differences when I'm not talking to chat and stuff, and hopefully the sound was enough. But I don't disagree with everything. Like, I agree with a lot of things. When I do disagree, I will say I disagree. Or I want to have a discussion about it, because I will say I don't understand. Because sometimes I'm just like, I am like a woman, so I don't understand every point from a male perspective, because I haven't lived that life. And that's why, as you may notice, if you ever come to one of my streams or in the comments, I do try my best to actually have a discussion about these things. And that's why a lot of them live are discussions. But yeah. Thank you for watching. I did this one off stream. As you can tell, hopefully the sound was fine and everything. I'm trying to zoom in. It's not working. There we go. But I'll see you next time. And there'll be more crap from my stream, pretty much. And some random ones like these. I'll see you guys. Bye.